Hey guys, I'm thinking about anger. I've got anger on my mind. There's a lot of anger in the world right now. Holy cow. And I feel people's like repressed hatred and vitriol, and they're just ready to scrap. I myself have been ready to scrap at different moments. And I was looking at that, the energy of anger. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot of energy in anger. And the way that I work is when I find something that's really like potent like that, I think, well, okay, if anger can be so intense, then there's a lot of juice to it. So what can I do with that juice that isn't necessarily, I don't want to say not destructive, because sometimes destructive is required. Sometimes things need to be destroyed, but not, decaying, not obliterating my future. Because, if one, and this I may be speaking mostly about myself, really, no, I don't think I am. No, I'm not. If one really allows himself to be reactive and explosive with the energy of anger, you can set things in motion that you didn't necessarily really, your best self didn't really want in motion. So what can you do with the energy of anger? I'm reminded of an exercise or a little example I saw one time of someone who was talking about judgment, deflecting judgment or receiving judgment. And there's a really different way that you can be in relationship with judgment, where if you're being judged or someone's judging and you try to fight it and you go into that deflective mode, it actually hurts you. It actually locks you up. It actually blocks you from possibility. If you receive judgment, if you just drop your deflection of it, drop your boundaries to it, and just go, cool, judgment's an energy, right? You can actually use it. You can use the energy versus having to fight the energy. The same thing with anger. And I was, so when I was angry recently, all I could do, like my head keep wanting to go into scenarios of like, I am going to eviscerate something. I am going to explode. I'm going to hurt something or someone. I'm going to freak out. And I knew I had this other voice going, you don't want to stay here. You don't want to be here. And then this louder voice going, yeah, I do. I'm going to fuck some things up. I want to. But I knew that the deeper, truer me didn't want to do that. And so I forced myself. And it was truly like, I am doing this. I made that demand of me that I was not going to do choices that were going to lock me up, make me smaller, reduce my possibilities, that were not going to do damage to my relationships, that were not going to harm the things that I cherish and care for. A snippy comment here and there is one thing. Those can usually be worked through, but really the full energy of anger in my case would have been much messier. So I chose to go, okay, I'm going to receive the energy of this. And this weird thing happened because it couldn't have been anything I predicted. Like, what does receiving the energy of anger even mean? I can't explain it to you logically. But I started to get curious about it. So if I wasn't fighting, if I wasn't indulging the desire to fight, if I wasn't indulging the scenarios of who and what and where and how I was going to work stuff out and how I was going to, obliterate things, but I just received the energy of that intensity, what would that be? And I just kept asking that question. What would that be? And at first it was a little bit of a folded arms, like, what would that be? And then I started to soften and really allow it in. What would that be? What would that be? And here's the weird thing that happened. Now, I'm not going to say that this will happen for everybody, but I'm going to tell you what happened for me. So I know it's a possibility that can happen. The energy was so intense. And when I didn't have a point of view about it, and I just let it be energy, it actually turned me on. It was actually an exciting energy, a nurturing energy, a whoa, holy crap energy, a wow, I'm alive energy. And it started to flip from this small little place into this massive, like, oh, I could change the freaking world with this energy. This is exciting. I feel good. I feel alive. It was phenomenal. So what if anger is just an energy and you get to choose what you do with it, and you don't let yourself, or you make the demand of yourself that you're not indulging the way that we've been, doing for so long and imprinted to do and encouraged to do and indoctrinated to do and have practiced and have experienced, and that whole reactionary thing. Yawn, I'm done. I'm over the whole reactionary thing in this moment. I'm sure there'll be moments where I'll have to have this conversation with myself again, but this is a conversation we get to have. We can have this conversation about anger, and that's a really, really cool thing. So maybe play with it, maybe don't. But next time an angry space comes up for you, see if you can find that tiny little crack in there, that tiny little crack of question of, what if I just received this? Pretty cool. Let's see what happens. Let me know, hey? I'd love to hear about it. All right, I'll see you next time.